Hello everybody and welcome to ChessDiagnostic. We are back on Grandmaster Ram and I think this is position 22, but obviously they're a little out of order if you own this book because they have different numbers as you'll see, and the reason for that, if you don't have the book, is because they have some examples where they try to show how you should be analyzing these positions. Oh, let me close that here. And the reason that they talk about how to analyze these positions is that they don't want you to just know the moves. They want you to understand the overall concept of the position. So this is a perfect illustration of that study, and of course we're doing it for all the positions. But whether it's white or black to move, do you think this is a draw, win? Obviously, if you know this position or you understand rook pawns, this is a draw whether white or black to move, which obviously is quite frustrating if you're white because it looks like he's so close. But unfortunately, there's no way that white can force his king out of the corner, even trying to bring his rook here. And the reason for that is obviously because the rook cuts it off, but also this king is close enough to this f square to prevent this rook from coming in. And even if the rook tries to come in here, then there's really nothing that can be done because black simply doesn't have to trade rooks and allow the queening of the pawn. And the king on f7 can always keep this king from moving if the rook moves. All right, so let's see some example lines here. Obviously, if it was two masters, they'd probably just shuffle rooks and agree to a draw. But if you want to be a little more adventurous, you might try to check the king, pretty much your only option. And now, if you're black, obviously be aware of this little error, blocking your own rook and allowing suddenly the king to slide out, and then he's going to queen. So that's a sudden win for white. You'll be surprised how often you see that among all levels in blitz games, those kind of elementary mistakes in rook endings, which makes them so hard because you think you're going to attack something and really you're blocking something and leading to a loss when it was a draw. All right, so obviously the king goes back to e7, and if white tries to do what I was talking about earlier, getting his rook over, then black just simply doesn't trade, check, and there's really nothing that can be done. He'll just maintain parity. And now, actually, with this line, the pawn is lost, and there's nothing that can be done. And it's not a loss for white; it's just a draw, normally by perpetual. And there's really no way that black can win this, of course. But there's no way that white can win it if black plays correctly. So let's go back to the initial position, all the way back. All right, so the overall concept of this position is just to teach you that rook pawns, especially in rook endings, but in a lot of endings, lead to draws, especially when the king is in front of it. So why should you know these basic simple positions? It seems like it's kind of a waste of time. Well, actually it's not. And the reason for that is you'll find that as you get better at chess or you play higher level opponents, then you'll get opportunities to win a pawn or multiple pawns. And unless you can evaluate where those pawns are on the board and how they'll affect the ending, then you normally will misevaluate the position, and maybe you thought that you were going to win when you were going to draw, and your opponent knew that. So this is why it's really important to know these theoretical positions. But I don't really consider these rook endings theoretical because you see these positions all the time. All right, so I hope this position has helped you understand rook endings a little better. We're going to be going through this whole series. I'm trying to get through it as fast as I can. And obviously, I'm back here in my apartment. I tried to record some videos in the forest, but for some reason that there was just audio artifacts. So hopefully those aren't on this computer, which I'm pretty sure they're not. All right, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the future. Goodbye.